coming on all fours, hands beneath your shoulders, knees beneath the hips, toes undone. As you exhale, let's soften and melt between the shoulder blades. And then inhale, look up. And as you exhale, chin to your chest and you round. Tailbone between the sitting bones. Inhale, abdomen down. Lift your heart, look up. Exhale and round. And again, inhale, lifting your chest, your tailbone. Creating big wave through the spine. Twice more. On the inhale, you look up. On the exhale, you round. And we do once more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, and you round. And then bring your back parallel to the floor in neutral position. Okay, great. Now, we do again cat and cow stretch just with one leg. So we're going to step forward with the left foot outside of your left hand, and you go on your finger pads. Or if you feel very tight in your lower back or the hips, I suggest take the block or the brick. So the brick is quite nice to use here. So this way, you might need to hold the brick or the block. And you might need extra padding for your right knee. So place the blanket there if you need it. Okay, be comfortable. Now, we're going to move the hips back. So moving the hips back, you lift your chest and lift your tailbone. So this is your cow stretch. Now, keep your chest lifted, like in the cat stretch, lengthening the tailbone, and you're moving your front hip forward. And maybe move your hands forward with the block or without block. Soften between your shoulder blades. Great, great stretch. And again, moving your hands beneath your face, hips back, doing the cow stretch. And as you exhale, the cat stretch on your pelvis, moving the hips again forwards, maybe block forward, or maybe you don't need the block, you just move your hands forward and you soften between your shoulder blades. Okay, we're going to do twice more. And again, hands beneath your face, moving the hips back, lift your chest and your tailbone. Exhale, lengthening the tailbone, moving the hips forward, maybe the hands forward. Bend your elbows back. Very good. We do one small exhale and then we're going to stay there for a while. Again, moving the hips back, doing the cow stretch. Exhale like a cat stretch, lengthening the tailbone, the hips moving forward, hands moving forward. Take a moment here, soften between your shoulder blades. So just let's check the back leg. Draw that back leg, your right leg towards the midline, and you press your toes into the floor stronger. Just press, press, press into the floor. So you have lovely extension on your back leg. Great stretch. Deep breath. And then moving back. Hands beneath your face. We're moving back on all fours. Stepping back. And let's do rolling. Rolling the hips. Just loosen up. Okay, rolling clockwise direction. And then anti-clockwise direction. Just nice and easy. Just letting go of all the unnecessary tension and checking how you feel in your lower back, how you feel in your hips, your pelvis. Okay, change direction if you haven't changed direction. Okay, nice and easy movements, almost pleasant. Okay, now thinking about changing the legs. Look at your right hand, right foot outside of your right hand. And again, grab the block if you feel very tight in your hips. Absolutely fine to have block or the brick there. We're moving the hips back. Lift your chest and your tailbone. Exhale, lengthening the tailbone, moving front hip forwards, maybe moving the block forwards. Soften between your shoulder blades. Okay, and again, hands beneath your face, hips back, lift your chest and your tailbone. Exhale, lengthening the tailbone, moving the front hip forward. And again, hands forward, block if you're using block. Well done. And again, twice more. Again, moving the hips back, lift your chest. Exhale, lengthening the tailbone, front hip moving forward, extra space for your hips. Okay, soften, melt between the shoulder blades. We do once more. Okay, and again, moving the hips back. Exhale, tailbone, tummy in, moving forward. Lengthening through the sides of the body, keeping the back long, just softening between the shoulder blades. And checking again your back leg. Drawing, press your toes down. The back leg is active. You have super stretch there. Okay, great. On your next inhale, lift your head, move your hands beneath your face, and step back on all fours again, rolling. Okay, rolling and checking how you feel now after stretches on both sides. Checking almost pleasant movements, letting go of unnecessary tension, and the movements can be very small or big. Well done. And then come back to the middle, down facing dog. Need more space, moving your hands forward or your knees back away from the hips. Squeeze your arms, squeeze your shoulders. Lift your knees off the floor and stretch. Sport walk a few times, bend your right knee, then the left. Let's check the hamstrings now. The back of the legs, the calves, the hamstrings. Press all finger pads into the floor and move your thigh bones back. Have a good stretch. Okay, well done. On your next inhale, come up on your tiptoes, bring your knees down. Okay, and just watch the screen for a moment. So you have options for the next stretch. We do again down facing dog, but we're going to use the blocks or the bricks. So if you have 2 blocks, grab 2 blocks. So, and we're going to squeeze the blocks between the inner thighs. Or if you have just a brick, the wide brick, so like this one, so you can take that brick between the inner thighs. And again, we come up to down facing dog. And we're going to do these movements. We start with lengthening the back. We squeeze the block or the bricks. And we're going to move that back and back and back using the inner thighs. And the same movement, so it's the same movement like you do the cow stretch when you're lifting your chest and your tailbone and moving the inner thighs back. So we try to keep that space in the down facing dog. Okay, so let's stretch. Okay, take the brick or a couple of blocks or folded blanket if you don't have any props at home, and we stretch. Again, to down facing dog. That's really helpful for tight hips or tight lower back. So come up to your down facing dog. Lengthen through your spine, knees bent to start. Really lengthen, press all finger pads into the floor, squeeze your shoulders, lift the hips, tummy in. And now using your inner thighs, moving the block back and back and back. And then the heels down, closer towards the floor. And you keep hugging that brick or the block. And imagine someone behind you moving that block back. So you're using your inner thighs to move the block back and back and back and back, creating more space for the lower back, for the hips, for the back of the pelvis. Enjoy the stretch. Super stretch for the back. You take another breath. And then come up on your tiptoes. Bring your knees down. Move the block to the side. Okay. And then walk to your down facing dog. Walk in. Walk to your hands. Into your forward bend. Walk into your forward bend. Squeeze the legs in. Space between your feet. Hips width apart or wider. Bend your knees if you need, hold your elbows, and we're just going to move from side to side, gently stretching, and the energy of the legs, like you have the block between your inner thighs, and you squeeze the block, legs in towards the midline, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take a moment here, lovely stretch. It's okay to have your knees bent, absolutely fine. And then come back to the middle. Draw the legs in, take your hands to the hips, lift your elbows, shoulders, lift your chin, come up standing, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the legs, come up standing, and then exhale, relax your arms, let's just roll the shoulders, soften, 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 and relax. Okay,